Attention passionate Cleveland, Browns fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the AFC North and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Cleveland Browns' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Cleveland Browns fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your friends and Cleveland Browns fans. Let's get to the news now, folks. If you're a Browns fan, you know how crucial every move is in this NFL landscape, especially when it comes to strengthening the roster and staying competitive. And today, we have some interesting developments that could shake things up in the division, particularly for the Cleveland Browns. But before jumping into the specifics, let's set the stage. We're in a season where the AFC North is more competitive than ever. The Ravens, Steelers, Bengals, and Browns are all fighting tooth and nail for playoff positioning, and any move that gives one team an edge can be decisive. So, when news breaks about a player signing or a roster change, it's not just about numbers or stats. It's about the strategic implications for the entire division, especially for a team like Cleveland, which has been building a solid foundation over the past few seasons. Now, without revealing everything right away, let's talk about the background. Cleveland, as you well know, has been on an upward trajectory. They've made some significant improvements on both sides of the ball, with a focus on bolstering the offense and shoring up their defense. The addition of key players like Deshaun Watson at quarterback has already raised expectations, but roster depth and strategic signings are what can truly elevate this team to contender status. Fans, you've seen it firsthand. Every game counts, every injury can be a game changer, and the front office understands that. That's why every signing, every trade is so meticulously planned. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Recently, there's been a move involving a former Browns running back, someone who played a significant role in Cleveland's backfield in recent seasons. This player, who had been a fan favorite and a key piece in the Browns' offensive scheme, has now found a new home with an AFC North rival. That's right, he's signed with the Baltimore Ravens. For Browns fans, this is a bittersweet moment. On one hand, it's always tough to see a player who contributed to your team leave. On the other hand, it's a reminder of how fluid and unpredictable NFL rosters can be. But more than that, it's a strategic move by the Ravens that could have serious implications for Cleveland's upcoming schedule. This player, whose name has been making rounds in NFL circles, brought a lot of energy and production to Cleveland's offense when he was on the field. His versatility, ability to catch passes out of the backfield, and his tough running style made him a threat every time he touched the ball. When he was with Cleveland, he had moments of brilliance, providing that extra dimension to the Browns' attack. Fans remember some of those key plays, those critical third-down conversions, and the way he could turn a broken play into a big gain. His departure leaves a gap in Cleveland's backfield, but it also opens opportunities for other players to step up. The signing with the Ravens signals a lot. Baltimore has been quietly building a roster that's capable of contending for the playoffs again. They've invested heavily in their defense, but offensively, they've been looking for ways to diversify their attack. Bringing in this former Browns running back fits that mold perfectly. It's a move that not only adds depth, but also introduces a player familiar with AFC North defenses, someone who knows the division's style of play intimately. And for Cleveland, it's a reminder that every opponent is updating their rosters and strategies constantly. You can't afford to stand still in this league. Your rivals are always looking for an edge, and this signing is a clear indication of that. Let's delve into what this means for Cleveland specifically. The Browns' coaching staff and front office have been very strategic about building a balanced team. They've invested in their offensive line, ensuring Deshaun Watson has enough protection and time to execute plays. They've also drafted and signed players to strengthen their defense, aiming to create one of the league's toughest units. But now, losing a player who contributed significantly on offense, especially in the passing game, means Cleveland needs to adapt quickly. It's about how they respond, whether it's through their existing roster, perhaps giving more opportunities to other running backs, or by making additional moves to cover this gap. And speaking of other backs, Cleveland's running core is pretty solid, with some promising young talent and veteran experience. Still, The chemistry and familiarity this player had with the Browns system meant he was a reliable option whenever called upon. His departure might force the coaching staff to tweak their game plan, perhaps leaning more on the passing game or relying on other backs to step into a bigger role. It's all about adaptability, but it's also a challenge that the Browns are capable of handling. Their coaching staff has shown resilience and strategic thinking in the past, so it's just a matter of adjusting and moving forward. Now, shifting focus a bit, let's talk about the bigger picture. This move by the Ravens isn't just about filling a roster spot, it's about sending a message. It signals that they're serious about competing again this season, that they're willing to make bold moves to improve their team. For Cleveland, it's a reminder that the AFC North is a war of attrition, where every detail matters. You can't just rely on a few star players. Depth and smart roster management often decide who gets to the playoffs and who falls short. And fans, you know how passionate and intense this division is. Every game feels like a playoff battle, and every move by a rival can ripple through the entire season. Cleveland, in particular, has been in a position to take advantage of this competitive environment. With a solid quarterback in Watson, a strong defense, and now these strategic signings, the Browns aim to cement their place at the top of the division. But they'll need to stay sharp, stay flexible, and keep building that team chemistry that's so crucial in the NFL. Looking ahead, it's fascinating to see how Cleveland will respond to this new challenge. Will they look to add more pieces? Will they rely on the talent already in-house and focus on execution? Or maybe they'll use this as motivation to push even harder, knowing that their rivals are making moves to catch up and surpass them. The AFC North is shaping up to be one of the most exciting divisions this season, and Cleveland fans should be optimistic, but also vigilant. This is the NFL, every week brings new surprises, and every game is a battle for supremacy. And as we watch these developments unfold, it's clear that Cleveland's leadership remains committed to their vision. They're always looking for ways to improve, to adapt, and to give their fans hope for another deep playoff run. The roster moves, the strategic signings, and the overall team dynamics will all play a role in determining how far this team can go. Cleveland fans, you've been through ups and downs, but the passion is always there and the team's potential is undeniable. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YouTube algorithm to keep recommending the latest Cleveland Browns news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. So to wrap this up, what's the real takeaway here? Well, this signing by the Ravens of a former Browns player isn't just a simple roster change. It's a message to Cleveland and the rest of the AFC North. It's about the competition, about the hunger to win right now, and about the strategic moves that teams are making to position themselves for success. Cleveland knows that every rival is trying to strengthen, to find that extra edge, and that means the Browns must stay on their toes. They need to keep building, keep improving, and keep that hunger alive because, trust me, this season promises to be one of the most exciting in recent memory. And now, Cleveland Browns fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Cleveland Browns. Do you think this move by Baltimore will have a big impact on their season? How do you see Cleveland responding? Are you excited about the team's direction moving forward? I love hearing your insights, your predictions, and your passion. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Cleveland Browns news. This is a team that's always evolving, always fighting, and always aiming for that ultimate goal, another Super Bowl appearance. Thanks for sticking with me, Browns fans, and let's keep that fire alive. Until next time.